And we're back. Here we are, part 2 of the How to BrickLink Studio series, featuring none other than BrickBrak. And today I'm going to show you how to make instructions. This is my way of making instructions. Everybody has their own way. Everybody does their own thing. I'm going to show you how I do it. This technique can be applied to small items like Tony Stark's desk here, or to big items like modular builds. It just takes time. Let's get to building. So here we have everything in step 1, because we've been designing, we've been creating, we've been making something awesome and just letting our creative juices do their thing. And we've paid no attention whatsoever to the fact that everything you see here on the build plate is in step 1. There is only one step, guys. One step to this build and none others. So we're done. Congratulations. No, we're not done. We need to make more steps. So what I do is I start clicking the add step button, or you can go down here and just start clicking it. It's a little bit responsive. You just gotta click, 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 click a bunch. You're gonna be clicking more. And then what I do, everything's still in step 1. I'm gonna select it all. Select it all. I'm gonna go over here to where these steps are. I'm going to right click. I'm gonna go move to, and I'm gonna move it to the next step. In this case, it's going to create a new step, step 20, put it all in there. So now if we scroll all the way down, you'll see everything is there. And then I unselect and I pick. The way Lego works, in case you didn't know, is you build from the bottom up. You start with a base plate, you build up. There are some exceptions to this, but that's kind of the philosophy I go with, is build from the bottom up and you'll be fine. So I'm going to start with the bottom of this piece, which happen to be the legs. So I'm going to select this leg, and I'm going to hold down either the command key if you're on an Apple, or the control key if you're on a Windows machine, to select all of those legs. And they got them highlighted here. And this is going to be my new step 1. I'm going to move it up to step 1. And then what I'm going to do, because I don't want to get confused and inadvertently put these, legs in a different step by either misclicking or, clicking the wrong thing, I'm going to right click on these pieces and I'm going to hide them. So now they're hidden. They're up here. You can show all if you need to, but I'm going to hide them. And I'm going to hide every single step that I do. So if you're confused, this might make more sense because the process is repeated several times over. So the next piece, the piece that are attached to my legs, is this plate here. So if I had multiple parts in this particular layer of the build, I might, add them all to the same step, but this is just going to be step number 2. So I'm going to right click on that piece, move to step 2. There it is, step 2. And then I'm going to click and I'm going to hide it. And for a lot of this process, I'm going to be looking at my build area from this angle, looking up at the pieces. So then I think what I'll do is I'll go with these straight jumpers. And I'll go with these jumpers. We'll do all the jumpers. Make 2 L-shaped pieces going on here. So I'm going to move these to step 3. And this is one of those things where if you have like multiple steps, you might be like, oh, which step am I on? All my pieces are selected. Let's scroll up to the top. Okay, step 3 has no bricks in it. So let's go back down here, right click, move to step 3. All right. Again, hide. And we're still on this layer because we've got multiple pieces on this part of the desk. So we'll start with this one next. Maybe we'll do these 2 quarter pieces. Those can be step 4. And I only hide it because I don't want to get confused and accidentally put these pieces in the wrong step. And you'll see that right away when, oh, I already forgot which step we're on. You'll see that right away when we get over into the instructions maker. So step 5 is our next step. How was everybody's day today? This was a crazy week for me. I was under the weather, so I missed a few days of work. The weather was hot, and then it was not. It is very windy today where I'm at. All right, so the next layer could possibly be these accessories, but I kind of want to get these computer screens out of the way first. That's just a preference thing, but I kind of feel like accessories like the book, the cup, the cell phone, that's like garnish. That's like the cherry on top that you just like, oh, I'm almost done. I'm gonna put these on and it's gonna look fantastic. So I'm gonna start with these monitors. So I want to get these three bars, these L3 and L4 bars, out of the way. So I'm gonna make this my next step, which is gonna be step 6. And if you're confused, just bear with me. This will all make sense in 10 minutes, maybe less. We're gonna hide those. And then I'm gonna say, let's see, we got monitors facing one way and then the other way. So we're gonna do, let's do these monitors first. Whoops. Let's do it this way. Let's start with these 2 monitors on this bar. Those can be step 7, hide them. This can be step 8 by itself. It's a lone display. Hide it. And this can be step 9. And we'll hide it. So now we're basically left with a couple things here. We're left with our little accessories, and we're left with 2 submodels. And submodels are important because they appear in our step viewer as a little folder, but there's multiple steps within them. So let's start with this chair. We're gonna say that this chair is step 10. That's where it's gonna show up in our instructions under step 10. However, now we have to go inside this submodel. So we can right click on the piece, go to submodel and view. And you will notice, well, we got multiple steps here. Yeah, so this had already been, because this is a mock that I have up on Rebrickable, so I had copied and pasted this. This wouldn't look like this. What it would look like is, if you were building this from scratch, everything would be in step 1, and you would have no other steps. So again, same process. We're gonna add a few more steps. Spoiler alert, we only need to do this in 3 steps. We're going to make building from the bottom up. This is our base. That piece there, the 2x2 round. So we're just gonna take these 2 guys. We can drag them. You don't have to right click and move, you can drag them. So there's our first piece. There is our 1x1 round. And there's the chair itself. So that step is done. And when we go over to the instructions, we'll see what that looks like. So we got our chair, let's make it disappear. Then we will do the cell phone and the mug can be another step. And when you go in and out of submodels, it'll collapse all of your steps. But if you go down here, the arrows pointing outwards will open them all up. So if you click the down arrows, it will collapse everything. We still are working in them, so we want to open them all up. All right, so our chair is step 10. We are going to make the mug and the cell phone step 11. Hide it all and round it off with this submodel of the book. Will be step 12, the final step in the piece. Make sure our submodel of the book is good to go. So we select it, we right click on it, view. Whoa, that's huge book. Yeah, see, this is what it's supposed to look like, all in one step. So we're gonna add a couple more. We'll just add 2 steps for this. Let's not go crazy over here. And we're gonna leave our plate there. We're gonna take our 2 slopes, drag them down here. Now, cool thing we can do, let's go back to All right, so everything's there now, so we'll show it all again. We got all our steps in one place. Let me just show you something cool real quick. Oh, something happened. Everything went crazy. Let's lift it all up, put it back on the plate. If you get confused or you have a submodel or the whole model that has multiple pieces, you can put this into what is called step view. And step view, I'm going to go back up here. Step view is going to show you whatever step you have selected. So I have it in step view. I click on step 1, it's only going to show me step 1. I click on step 2, it's showing me step 1 and 2, and so on and so forth. So you can see the building process happen right before your eyes. That is a cool thing to toggle on and off. Especially, this is a very simplistic build. If you were building a modular building, it's very easy to get confused. Maybe I'll do a live one day where I'll just be showing how I do a modular building. I don't know. But in the meantime, we have this. We have all our steps in place. So the first thing we're going to want to do is save this. And now that it's saved, we are going to go into the instruction mode. And instruction mode has 2 panels. It has the step editor, which I don't really pay much attention to. I am open to hear what you think about creating instructions in the comments, because this is just sort of the way I've sort of done it. I've kind of picked up on it on my own. I've seen a few YouTube videos, but this is what works for me. But if I'm reinventing the wheel here, please let me know. And because I'd love to figure out, I don't know what the step editor does except showing you step by step. I'm more concerned with the page design. And the page design is what looks like your standard Lego instruction setup, step 1, step 2, and so on. Now, they kind of throw them together. I have my own little personal quirks about it. Like, I like to put the inventory box over here on the right of the page. I also like to try to line this up to center as much as possible. Now, if this was a very complex build, dedicating one page for each item is cool, but you've got some layout options to work on, especially if you're doing smaller builds, which I recommend. If you're getting into this, don't go crazy. Don't try to build the Avengers Tower right out the gate. Build something small and awesome and go with it, because that will help you sort of develop these skills that'll become second nature to you as far as the design process and the instruction process. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this because it'll really make your directions, your instructions pop for these smaller builds. So I'm going to go to change layout, and I can put multiple steps on a page. So for something small like this, let's try it out. We can always go back. So let's try this. The first step's going to be here, then down here in the bottom, 2, 3, 4. You can also do 1, 2, 3, 4. It's strictly a preference thing. But let's do this one. So we're going to click there. We're going to hit apply, and now it's going to put the first 4 steps on our build. I had already moved my inventory for step 1 over. That looks pretty tight, so we're going to go with it. I'm going to move this one over. And another thing that I don't like is when the inventory box sort of bleeds into what it's supposed to look like, especially when it's going over pieces in that step. So what I'll do is you can click on sections of the instructions. I'm going to click on the inventory box, and I'm going to scale this down. I'm going to pick a number. I'm not going to I could use the little slider, but I like to be consistent. So for this, I'm going to say 50%. And that it makes it smaller, but again, when you're printing it out, when you're looking at this in a PDF, you can zoom in, whatever. If the parts are still visible and identifiable, then you should be good. So 50% for that looks good. This might be a little ridiculous, but let's try it at 50. Yeah, 50, that looks fine. I mean, it's a little over. It goes against my rule that I just shared, but it's not covering the whole piece. This, same thing. I mean, it's a little over, but I'm gonna let's do 75 for this one. Do it in like multiples of 25, I guess. You could go down to 50 if you wanted to for this, because these are still pretty identifiable. Oop, or 505, that's cool too. But yeah, something like that. So that's the first step. And let's continue with this layout. So we go back in here, and you can apply it to all if you want. I like to do it meticulously just because that's just the way I work. When it comes to this phase of, you know, making the instructions, you're kind of trying to make it so it looks nice. And this is one of those things too where for this first set of steps where we haven't really built up on our design yet, using this layout will work. It might be a better option to change this layout to maybe just put 2 on the page. All right, yeah, that looks nicer. And these are the kind of things you need to sort of roll with while you're doing this part of the building, the designing process. Seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. Don't be, you know, 100% committed to one particular style unless, you know, the piece that you've designed fits on it. Yeah, I like to follow the guidelines unless they're like cutting off the piece like they do in this case. And that's fine because when you change it up here, you can, the next step will follow the pattern you changed it to, if that makes sense. Now this I'm just gonna keep on one page and I'm gonna center it because it's just finishing up the screens. If I wanted to get, you know, if I wanted to get fancy, I wanted to change the view because maybe it wasn't showing me the new pieces really well, I could go change step view, and then I can do things like rotate the piece to display what I'm putting on it better. For this, I'm just going to keep it the way it is, and I'm going to keep it on this because it's like we finished in step 9, we've essentially finished the desk and the monitors. Step 10 is interesting because it's the start of the chair. Now the chair is very simple. So what we can do with the chair, if we click on this, we can convert this to what's called a call out. And this is when I'm going to click it and show you. So a call out, it shows you the instructions and then it shows you where to put it in the finished, you know, in the rest of the build. We'll put the call out back over here in this corner, line it up all nice and pretty. Grab the arrow. And we'll grab the other end of the arrow. Oh, all right. Oh, all right. We'll continue to grab the arrow. We'll put it up here. Why not? So this is a call out. So this is an instruction that's showing you, okay, you do this, then that, and then that, and then you put it there in front of the desk. Call outs are cool for little repetitive items or small items like that. Let's move this all down here. Yeah, we're gonna center it. And we're gonna move our cell phone and our coffee mug over. Does Tony Stark drink coffee? Or is it just tea? And this is another example of a good way we could use a call out because it's such a small piece. It's literally 3 pieces. So we're gonna convert to call out. Oh yeah, this will look a lot better once we move everything around. So we'll put that there. And actually, let's change the step view and rotate it. See if there's a better angle. 145. That's a little better. Yeah, I'm not totally sold on it. That's okay. It's okay. We'll run with it. We'll set up our call out here. We'll grab the little arrow, move it up. So this is the finished piece, and now we get to this step, and it doesn't look like the way we want it. So we're gonna change the step view, rotate it back around. That's good. That's how we want it to look. That's what the box art would look like. Now, if you remember from way back before we got into instruction view, you'll notice that we kept a bunch of blank steps open. And that's what these are. These are all those empty steps. So let's go back. Actually, let's save first. And let's exit the instruction editor and go back to our step view. Expand them all, and we see all these empty steps. So we want to get rid of these. I'll start from the bottom because I don't want to accidentally delete a step that has stuff in it because that'll actually delete things. Now what I like to do is leave one step empty at the end. And the reason why I like to do that is when I go in here, and I go to my step page design. So this is our last step where we place an item, and then we're showing the finished build. And what Lego likes to do is put a little like ta-da kind of star thing going on. And you can do that too, because we've got this insert button here, and we can insert an image. And I have one of my folders of like templates and stuff that I use for design work. So I got this star pattern here. And what I like to do, I'll expand it like so, and cover the piece entirely. And then I will right click and send it to the back. Ta-da! So now we have our finished product. So from here, we can export it as a PDF, and when it exports, then we have it as a PDF. You know, we could, if we wanted to, you know, if we were making this for Rebrickable, what we could do is we could insert a page before this page, and then we could insert a new image of you know, the cover of our instructions. You can make it look like a Lego thing. You can make it your own design, which is pretty cool. I particularly have this BrickBrak's magazine theme that I like to roll out my designs on. So, you know, we can this is where we get creative and let our graphic design person get out and do his thing or her thing. And this is just a rough guide to how instructions are made, especially if you've been struggling on them. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more how-to videos or that kind of thing, please let me know in the comment section. Please like and subscribe if you like this or feel like subscribing. Yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you again sometime soon.